Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, students, we meet again in chapter 1, okay, to discuss chapter 1, Introduction to System Analysis and Design, part 2. And in this video, I will explain to you about the system development method. There are many options exist for developing the information system. Okay, for example, we have structured analysis, object-oriented analysis, agile method, joint application development, or we know it as JAD. And also the last one is rapid application development, or RAD. But the most popular alternative in development method is the structured analysis, which is it is a traditional method that still is widely used, okay, other than object-oriented and so on. Although there are many alternatives exist in development method, but the software or IT experts agree that there is no single development method that is best for all cases. Okay, this means that each of the approach or the system development method mentioned here is maybe suitable for some cases, but not suitable for the other cases. So the tools or the development method must be chosen based on the case or the approach that is suitable for each of the case. And to do that, the system analyst should understand the pros and the cons of any approach before selecting a development method. Okay, so firstly, let us discuss about the object-oriented analysis method. Okay, so in this method, the system analyst views the system in terms of data object. Okay, so the data object combine data and also the process. Alright, so the system analyst use OO model ataupun object-oriented model in the real world business processes and also the operation. And the programmers also will use the object-oriented programming language in order to write and code the programming. The advantage of object-oriented analysis is it integrates, okay, easily with the object-oriented programming language, okay, and it is easy to maintain and expand it because it uses the object-oriented programming. It is quite dynamic, okay. And the disadvantage of object-oriented analysis is it is less familiar to the development team, and interaction of object can be complex in larger system. Okay, the second method that we are going to discuss is agile method. Okay, so agile method is a contrast method to the structured method that we are going to discuss later. Okay, so in agile method, it attempts to develop a system incrementally by building a series of prototypes and constantly adjusting them to users' requirement. This means that in agile method, the team of developer will develop the system little by little or bit by bit. Okay, and then the team will show the output to the customer or to the user. Okay, and then the user will give reflection or we give a comment on the project. And if the project needs to be enhanced or needs something to be amended, then the team will amend according to the user's preferences. Okay, so we can see here that agile method typically uses a spiral model which represents a series of iterations or revision based on user feedback. Okay, so it starts from brainstorm or the plan, and then the team will design the system or the project, and then they will develop the project. Okay, they test the project or the module, and then it deploy. So if in testing or in deployment, and the user give some feedback that needs the system to be adjusted or to be amended. Then the team, okay, the development team has to do the brainstorm again or to replan the whole project or each of the module once again. Okay. The advantage of Agile method is it is very flexible and efficient with the changes. Okay, and in this Agile method also, the user will get involved actively, okay, in the development plan or in the development phases. And the cons or the disadvantage of Agile method is it needs high level of technical and communication skill. Why the team need to have the high level or the of technical and also the communication skill, okay, especially why they need the communication skill, because they need to communicate to the user, to the end user frequently. Okay, they need to present each of the module. Okay, which means siap sikit, siap part of the system, and then kena tunjuk pada users. Okay, you have to demo to the user again, and then user give some comment and so on. So if the development team have no communication skill or lack of communication skill, then it will cause some problem lah. Okay, and also it also lack of structure and documentation risk factor. Alright, jadi maknanya kita tak akan menghadapi masalah sangatlah dari segi structure and documentation, because we only document the end product, okay, in this Agile method. Okay, so the next method that we are going to discuss is JAD or RAD. JAD means Joint Application Development and RAD is Rapid Application Development. Okay, these two methodologies became popular nowadays because the development team found out that the staff, the IT staff, the users and also the managers should do the work together in order to complete the IT project in earlier time. Okay. So both joint application development and rapid application development uses the team-based approach, which mean in the team, okay, there are IT staff, there are the users, there are managers and so on. Okay, so the difference is the JAD or joint application development focuses on fact finding, okay, which is the only one phase of the development process, and rapid development, application development is used a compressed version of the entire development process. Okay, this means that JAD is only used, okay, is only used to do the fact finding, not to complete the development of an IT project. Okay, so JAD is only used to do the fact finding, okay, to do the analysis. But RAD is used to do the development process. Okay, it is a compressed version. Okay, it is a compressed or compact version of development process. Okay, now we discuss the structured analysis, which the one that we are going to use throughout this course. And you are also required to do the structured analysis in your project. Okay, so what is structured analysis? It is a series of phases. Okay, the series of phases called the System Development Life Cycle, SDLC. So in SDLC or System Development Life Cycle, there is 5 phases altogether. There are the system planning, the system analysis, system design, system implementation, and also lastly the system operation, support and security. So each of the phases has their own tasks and also deliverables or the output. So for example, in system planning, you are required to plan about the system. Okay, so usually in system planning, the deliverable or the output of system planning is the SDP document. Okay, in SDLC, it is a process-centered technique where the process that transform data into useful information. Meaning that in this structured analysis, you are going to search for information from people that involved in the development. For example, you are going to interview the users to get the data, to get the information. You are going to read all of the company's information and also the company's document, okay, that related to the project. And in the end of the process, you are going to use all of the information to model the process, okay? Meaning that you have to transform all of the information and data that you get from your reading, from your interview, okay? You have to model them into what we call the DFD, okay, or data flow diagram. Okay, so in this structured analysis, normally we use the waterfall model. Okay, so what is waterfall model? So waterfall model is shown in this figure in this slide, okay, that contain the system planning, system analysis, system design, system implementation, and lastly the system operation support and security. So this is the waterfall model. Alright, so let's take a look on the first phase of the SDLC, okay, which is system planning. So the purpose of system planning is to identify the nature and scope of the business opportunity or problem. Okay, so in this system planning, we need to, as I said before, we need to interview the users, we need to interview the management, and then we need to read all of the related document from the company. Okay, we need to understand what is the vision and mission of the business, okay, and what is the opportunity and also the problem that is faced by the company or the business. Okay, so the activities in system planning is the system request. Okay, system request is where the company or the user or the customer begins the process. They request the system. Okay, when they request the system, so the system development begin. Okay, and it describe the problem and also the desired changes. Okay, our user or our customer will inform the development team about the problem that they face and what are their desires. Okay, what are their desires, apa yang mereka nak, apa yang mereka mahukan to solve the problem. So in this phase, the system planning, okay, it include the preliminary investigation, meaning that the IT team or the developer team, okay, the development team need to do some investigation. Okay, so investigate in what? Investigate in the business lah. Investigate the company, okay. Just like I told you what you have to do in SDP. Okay, SDP in the introduction. Okay, you investigate lah what is the background of the company and then what is the mission. Okay, apakah cita-cita mereka, what is their mission and vision. Okay, and then kita kena tengok lah apa benda yang mereka nak untuk to expand their business. Alright, so the end product of system planning is the preliminary investigation report, or also we can say it is a SDP lah. In the second phase, that is system analysis. Okay, so the purpose of system analysis is to build a logical model of the new system. Okay, so in this system analysis, kita akan ambil all of the information that we gather in the first phase tadi, okay, system planning. Okay, all of the information bila kita dah buat all of the interviews and the readings and the investigations. Okay, so now we know their problem and we have the solution of their problem. Okay, so here we are going to propose, okay, a logical model of the new system. Okay, kita akan propose lah sistem tu nak buat macam mana and how the system can solve their problem. Alright, so the activities that you need to do in system analysis is to do the requirement modeling. Okay, requirement modeling is where you investigate the business process and document on what this new system must do. Okay, so nampak kat sini, it narrow down your activities. In the first phase, okay, masa system planning, you investigate about the whole company. Okay, you need to know about the mission, about the vision lah, apa benda semua, and then you know about the problem. But now here, in second phase, you are going to narrow down your searching, your investigation, where you only focus on the problem of your customer. Okay, apa benda problem yang dia nyatakan? Okay, let's say dia kata the data, the customer data yang membeli barang-barang dia tu tak ada tempat nak simpan. So you propose for a system that they can keep their customers data and together with the database lah. Okay, so kat sini kita akan investigate about the business process. Okay, when we investigate about the business process, it is called the requirement modeling. So kat sini you are going to perform the fact finding. Okay, fact finding tadi tu boleh guna kaedah yang JAD tadi tu. Okay, you do the fact finding, you interview, you make a survey, and then you read the document and you observe how the users or the company do their activities. Okay, so the end product of system analysis is the system requirement document. Okay, system requirement document, ataupun kalau dalam dokumen yang dalam lab tu kita ada SDP, system requirement plan. Okay, in system requirement plan you need to describe the cost, the benefits, and also the user requirement on the system. Okay, the third phase in SDLC is system design. Okay, in system design, we create a physical model or the blueprint that will satisfy all documented requirement. Okay, so system design will be done based on the system analysis. Okay, so the system design will be based on the system requirement document that we do in the second phase. Okay, dia kena tengok lah, dia kena tally benda tu. Kalau tak tally, maka the system design will not follow the user requirement. Okay, so kat sini kita akan design all of the flow or all of the process in the system. So the activities is to identify all the output, input and all the process. Okay, kat mana kita nak tahu the output, input and process ni? Okay, we know all of these items, okay, output, input and process based on the system analysis that we have carried out. Okay, kita dah buat interview, kita dah buat survey, kita dah baca dokumen, we do the observation, kita tengok macam mana orang buat kerja and so on. So we know what are the output need to be given by the system, and then what are the input that need to be given to the system. Okay, and what are all the processes that need to be carried out lah, okay, with the system. Okay, so in this phase also, we need to design all the user interface based on the requirement as well. Okay, apa saja yang kita buat, we need to do it based on the requirement, the user's requirement ataupun the customer's requirement lah. Okay, and we have to avoid the misunderstanding through manager and the user involvement. Okay, so bila kita sebut kat sini, we have to design based on the requirement. It doesn't mean that the IT team ataupun the development team hanya perlu mengikut 100% apa yang user minta. Okay, you as the developer or the IT expert, you need to consult your user. Okay, for example, if the user need the system to produce a receipt, okay, so make sure the receipt is generated from the system. Okay, ada juga kadang-kadang user ni dia kedai dia kecil-kecil je. Okay, so dia kata dia nak buat receipt tu secara printed. Okay, tetapi dia kata tak apalah kalau tak ambil receipt tu daripada proses pembelian pun. Maknanya dia nak type je berapa harga dan sebagainya, dia nak print benda tu. Okay, so you as the IT expert ataupun the development team, you have to consult the user. Yang macam yang kalau user ada nak request benda macam tu lah. Okay, because receipt, okay, basically receipt ataupun bill must be generated from the system ataupun from the purchase process. Okay, bila kawan tu purchase, barulah boleh generate receipt ataupun generate the bill. Okay, so kita kena advise jugalah kalau ada user yang minta perkara yang kita rasa bila kita dah belajar ni benda tu tak patut dibuat. Okay, we need to advise the user as well. Okay, now let's move to the fourth phase in SDLC, that is system implementation. Okay, so the purpose of system implementation phase is to the new system is constructed. Okay, to develop the system lah, where the system must be complete and functioning, and also it must be well documented. The activities that must be carried out in system implementation is to write the programming and test and also document the program. Okay, so you write, you test, and you must document all of your program. And then you also have to convert the data to the new systems file. Okay, meaning that if you have if the system requires the existing data, so you have to convert the data from the previous system to the new system, and then also you have to do the user training or the support. Okay, the support training. And then the development team also have to perform the actual transition to the new system. Okay, you migrate, okay, the data, and you migrate the system from the old or from the previous system to the new system. And in this phase also you have to do the system evaluation and testing. Alright, so you have to do the system evaluation and testing in system implementation. Okay, so the end product of this phase is the complete functioning system. Okay, complete functioning system. Okay, now let's discuss about the last phase in SDLC, that is system operation and support. Okay, so in system operation and support, the IT staff or the development team will maintain, enhances, and protect the system. Okay, so maintenance is the process of correct the errors and also adapt to changes. Okay, let's say in testing phase, okay, there are some errors that the system occurs. So the maintenance team or the development team will have to correct the errors. Okay, and if there is some feedback from the user that need to do some changes, okay, so it has to be done in this phase. Alright, so the enhancements will increase the system capability. However, this enhancement can be done only in the scalable design. Okay, the scalable design is a type of design that allow the designers or the development team to scale in or scale out the size of the system. This means that the system can be expanded to meet the new business requirement and also volume. For example, if the system is designed to meet 1,000 data per day. Okay, if the system is scalable, the volume of data can be expanded. Okay, if it is designed based on a scalable design, so the volume of data can be expanded by the developer, let's say from 1,000 per day to maybe 5,000 per day. Okay, so a scalable design allow the system to be expanded and also to increase the volume of data and others. And the end product of system operation and support phase is the operational of the information system. Okay, and the SDLC, the SDLC for this project will end when the system is replaced. Okay, when the current system is replaced, then the SDLC phases is ended. The only disadvantage of SDLC is because the waterfall model does not emphasize the interactivity among the phases. Okay, so this is the only disadvantage of this model. Okay, but the interactivity also can be achieved if the SDLC is not being followed too rigid or too strict. Okay, meaning that SDLC still can be adjust, okay, by following the current situation. Okay, now in this slide, it is not about the SDLC anymore, but it is a little information about the information technology department. Okay, you also have to know about this department, the organization of this department, because if you have the rezeki, you will work in this kind of field of work. Okay, so basically this department will have a director or a leader. Okay, then this information department will be divided into several units. Okay, the units are normally the user support, the web support, the system support and security, the database administration, application development, quality assurance, and also the network administration. So you can see here there are lots of field of work that you can involve in the future, inshallah. And as I said before, okay, in learning this course, okay, you are trained to be a system analyst. Okay, so system analyst position, the responsibility of system analyst is to investigate, to make analysis, to design, to develop, to install, to evaluate, and to maintain an information system. Okay, so the system analyst also have to interact with the user, with the manager, okay, within and outside the company. And also system analyst tasks overlap business and technical aspect, meaning that to be a system analyst, you have to acquire several skills. Okay, so especially the interpersonal skill, and also you must have the technical skill or the IT side skills. Okay, so in this slide, you can see the responsibilities, the list of responsibilities. There are lots and lots of responsibilities to be played by the system analyst. Okay, so the required skill for NSA is technical knowledge about IT, of course, strong oral and written communication skill. Okay, you have to know how to write a letter, you have to know how to write messages or emails correctly. Okay, you have to know how to communicate orally with people. All right, and then you must acquire good analytical ability. Okay, the background can be CS, okay, computer science, Management Information System, or CE. CE is Computer Engineering. Okay, and also you must have a good interpersonal skill to interact with people at all level. Okay, you have to interact at the operational staff. Okay, the lowest level of a company or an organization is the operational staff. Okay, you also have to interact with the managers, the vendors, the customers, and so on. Okay, and also lastly, you must have a leadership and team building skill. Alright, so before we end chapter 1, let us take a look on what are we going to learn in the next chapters and also the next week. Okay, so basically in week 3 to 4, you are going to learn chapter 2, analyzing the business case. Okay, so analyzing business case is still in the system planning SDLC phase. Okay, so you can take a look in this slide. What are the phases for each of the topic? Okay, so for example, for topic 3, 4, and 5, it is the topics are included in the system analysis phase. Okay, and so on. So this slide will be your reference, okay, in the future, so that you may know which topic or which SDLC phase are we in during the lecture of each of the topic. Okay, so until then, see you in the next video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.